Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Austin.
And I'm your co-host, Ian.
This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
Our show may not be suitable for young children, but neither is our D&D games, and we are okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
We had some kids
We're adults
over.
here.
We had some kids over playing yesterday, and I wasn't.
Okay, maybe not that.
I could have been a little better. Why is that so choppy?
Well,
Whatever.
I blame Comcast.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's not Comcast though. Anyways.
I still blame it.
Oh man, we got a really great episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Armaments of Legacy, weapons that evolve with your characters, that are all based on some of the most popular magic items in the Dungeon Master Guide.
Very Fable 3-esque.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that a lot.
really good.
See, I liked Fable 3. Okay, I loved the
He's
idea.
the only one.
I liked the concept of Fable 3. The execution of Fable 3 was a travesty.
Say what you will about Fable 3. John Cleese played the butler.
This is true. And that was a victory.
Did he?
Yeah.
That was a victory. Small
know
victory,
that
but
is.
it's a victory.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
If you ever watch Monty Python, you know who John Cleese is.
Okay, is it the same guy that shows up in all of them?
Yes.
Okay, then I know who John Cleese is apparently.
Well, if you watch The Holy Grail alone, he was Lancelot, he was Tim, he was one of the villagers. I can go on.
Okay.
He's a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was the Black Knight. He was the Frenchman that was taunting King Arthur.
You definitely help explain that. So yeah, we're really excited to talk about Armaments of Legacy, made by one of the guild, the DMsguild adepts, which are some of the best writers on the DMsguild. So I'm really excited for that.
It was a nice looking document.
I do want to talk quickly about our Kickstarter. As of the release of this, as of this recording, we are at 95%.
Yeah, we're like right there at the
Yeah,
edge.
I think we got 11 days to go. So if you're listening to this live, unfortunately, you've got 1 day left to become a backer. So please consider checking that out and maybe picking up some of the free content we have there, or just sharing with your friends on social media.
As of right now, as I pull up our page, we're at $14,441 of our 15K goal. With
Nice.
11 days to go.
Very, very close.
And this is me saying this live. So
So that's exciting. So I want to thank everyone who has supported us. This is one of the biggest projects we've done, and it was so big that we couldn't
Not the
fund it
biggest,
ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not the biggest.
I mean, I'll admit though, I did chip in $40, but that's because I want the hard copy.
Yeah. We don't get it free. We still have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically we can get the PDF free, but
Yeah.
anyways, we're really excited for that. So thank you all who have supported it. So yeah, if you're interested in doing that, head on over to critacademy.com and click on the Kickstarter button there.
Yeah.
Crit Nation, thank you for joining us today here at Crit Academy Studios, where everything's made up and your roles don't matter.
Yep, that's right. Your roles are like an artifact without a legacy.
Those are nice.
Yeah, because I mean,
Does it really make it an artifact then, if it doesn't have a legacy behind
well,
it?
you can have a super powerful item, but if you don't know where it came from, it kind of loses its pizzazz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like the Green Lantern ring. Oh, this is cool, without really knowing the whole story behind it and what makes it phenomenal.
Yeah. I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
That could just be my opinion, but I think story
No,
is
I mean, it
important.
makes sense. Fair enough.
All right, so we always start off our show with our Let's Talk About Blank segment. It kind of bounces around, but there's something really particular I want to talk about. Anybody that's been listening to the show or follows us on Twitter or Facebook knows that I have an obsession with Baldur's Gate 3.
That's putting it mildly. I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
won't see you
You're
for a
not wrong.
month when it comes out.
No, unfortunately, I have responsibilities, so you might see me. I'll just be a shadow.
Just see you, yeah. We'll see you at like once a week and just be like, hey guys. And
It's
just
kinda
like, why are you?
Lost 50 pounds because I'm just running
Why
everywhere.
is our voice raspy?
It's kind of like how I intended to disappear for about a week or two when Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, but they unfortunately moved to a month where I can't take days off.
Oh, we're gonna hear all about that when it comes out. It's like, I got the game. The show is running. It's more than an hour. Shut up, Justin. End the show so I can go play Cyberpunk.
I need this.
All right, so Baldur's Gate
Baldur's
3
Gate 3,
had a
yeah.
huge announcement.
Yes.
They are doing early access on September 30th through
pretty big.
Steam Store and all their other platforms and all that jazz. But that's actually not the big thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, we saw something amazing.
They showed. So
like a gameplay trailer, I guess.
yes, so one of the coolest things about the way Larian develops their games, apparently, or at least Baldur's Gate, is the assets become so interactable that they can build stuff on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So they showed a trailer that didn't exist just weeks ago. It was something that, hey, this would be cool if the players could interact with it. What should we do? Well, the thing that they wanted to interact with was an intellect devour.
That was really cool.
So they put together this awesome scene of the character walking into a room inside of the Nautiloid with a guy laying on top of a bench with his head cracked open with the brain exposed.
It was pretty brutal looking.
And the damn thing started talking.
Hi, my name is Bob.
Well, except it sounded like something I would expect from like Venom. It was we. It was us. Please free us.
It sounded like a child.
Yeah, it was
real
so disturbing.
It was real weird.
And it just reminded me, how wrong I'm playing Intellect Devourers, because that was, by putting a child's voice to that, you make that so much creepier. And by begging and pleading, it's even worse. So I was super impressed with that.
That was also really weird when it started growing out its fucking tendrils and its
Oh, yeah,
arms
just
and
like-
legs. And I was just like, I'm not a fan. I want to kill it.
Kill it with fire!
I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna throw a Molotov at it. We don't have Molotovs. We do now. Where's that moonshine?
We'll make them.
The dwarf, my beer!
What makes this really cool, though, is this shows just how much story focus they're putting in on this game.
Very cool looking.
And honestly, I've said it before, I'm not generally one who has time to sit and read all the books to learn all the lore. But what I can do is absorb that lore through playing a video game that is based on the 5th edition rule set, which is super exciting because then I get to play as a player. I get a story told
It's a
to me.
pretty big one.
And yeah, I mean, let's face it. I would like to learn more lore about lots of things, not just in D&D, but other media in general. Like, I never played Warhammer 40k, but the lore is always something awesome. So I've been watching the lore videos, and I've done the same thing for D&D and Forgotten Realms in the past too. And I found that to be a nice tool to have to look on Google and stuff.
Absolutely.
It's also good for inspiration for your own stories and campaigns, even if you're not running a Forgotten Realms game. So I'm really excited for this. If you haven't seen the video, you can check it out at critacademy.com. There's a link there in the blog on /post/episode 184, or right there on the main page as of this recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I can't wait to see how it all goes. If I can, I'm going to try to get some time off, and I will be streaming the hell out of that. So hopefully you guys will come and join me on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube or wherever the hell I end up streaming it.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. And it's supposed to apparently have some sort of multiplayer too. So
I did not know that. That's
that'll
cool.
be cool. So
I believe some of the other games that Larian have made had multiplayer, even though they haven't heavily advertised as single-player games.
Right.
So,
Weird.
so that's actually not too far removed.
yeah, that like I said, if they give the DM power to make adventures and stories and stuff, and then you can have you and your friends go through this adventure together, I think that would be really fun, and would be
real cool.
especially in the social distancing era. I think something like that would be really, really cool. So.
Absolutely.
All right, I think that'll do it for our Let's Talk About Blank. Nothing too in depth. I just want to make sure that was out there.
Yeah.
So.
Something obviously still related pretty heavily to like what
Yeah.
D&D is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
That'll do it for our Let's Talk About Blank segment. Before we move on to our main topic, we have another gift to give away. Compliments of Loresmith.
Yeah, the modular dungeon tiles, specifically though the Arcania set. So the modular dungeon tiles, if you don't already know, are an easy way to create your own beautiful digital maps. The Arcania set lets you make dark, shadowy dungeon maps rich with the fumes of arcane secrets. In one hallway, you're probably going to find that Intellect Devourer, and in another hallway, you're probably going to find another. It's not good. It's not looking good for your players.
Can I just say kudos to you always being able to really tie that in. It's
I
like
try to.
You succeed, man.
Try to.
Who's our winner today?
Sometimes I lose, but
I think you get it most of the time.
yeah. Our winner today is Michael Holland 54. Congratulations, my man.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
If you didn't win, have no fear, because we're Crit Academy and we're here. Like Superman descending from the heavens, we come bearing gifts. Head on over to critacademy.com/Loresmith and get a free set of digital terrain and some one-shots and some other fat loots. Also, if you want to toss a few bucks to Loresmith, I cannot recommend the Remarkable Shops and Remarkable Inns book enough. So, amazing system agnostic content ever. So,
Yeah.
that being said, on to our main topic, Armaments of Legacy. Legacy items are extraordinary magical armaments whose powers evolve and develop along with the user.
Very similar to Fable 3.
Yes. And if you recall, we actually discussed a similar item called Ancestral Weapons.
Ancestral Weapons, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Now, that
remember
was different in the fact that the players had to pick and choose all these different features and stuff. This one's a little
Yeah.
more standardized.
Yeah.
So you as the DM know exactly what you're getting when you toss it into your game, which is
Yeah.
a safer route, I think.
I mean,
I
I
can
think
agree
some
to that.
people kind of hate that because they want to feel more natural, but I do believe there's some piece about player choice and getting
Yeah.
what they want. So,
Yeah, well, pick a legacy weapon you want then.
but I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying.
I know, and that's where you're gonna, because I do after we recorded the episode of Ancestral Weapons, it did occur to me that an inexperienced DM might struggle with somebody coming up with a particular combination that they're just like, well, that sucks. That's oh crap. Versus if you know exactly what they're gonna get with a magic item, then maybe this is the big thing that you want to like talk to them in advance about. Hey, pick
Absolutely.
this.
Well, yeah. I mean, you should always have like a session 0 about this
Right.
kind of stuff. Anyway, like what supplements do you want to use?
Right.
But
So some of these weapons are crafted by master artificers, while others bear unknown origin. Their true history shrouded in myth and legend. And if you have a lore player, this is really cool because part of those they might take an interest in it and want to seek out legends of this and more details on this weapon.
stick it in
Or
a temple.
item.
They'll try and find it.
Right. They can be passed down through heritage or reward, gained through victory over a dangerous foe, or simply appear at the right place at the right time when fate deems it so. Similar.
Just like a solar just comes down. He's like, "Hey, heard my god said you needed help, but I'm not gonna help you. But just pulls out this big sword. This might help.
Didn't that happen in
See you later." Just
the new Clash of the Titans? Didn't Zeus just show up and say, "Here you go. I can't help you directly, but I will give you a weapon that gives you an advantage over everybody else," which is really me helping directly, just so you know.
but I'm just dropping this in this particular area.
That you happen
Wink.
to be.
That actually also makes me think of the cross from the Harry Dresden File series. Like, there's really like 3 knights at any given time, and each one has a sword that is made from one of the nails of the cross.
Oh, that's cool.
That's badass, actually.
And one character in particular is kind of hilarious because, like, Asanium, one of the 3 knights, because he's always saying, "I'm an atheist. Didn't you have a holy sword given to you from the nails of the cross by Michael the Archangel?" "Okay, I'm agnostic."
He's like, "Oh, okay."
That's funny.
He's like, "Okay, you." He twisted my arm a little bit, okay?
You might have some good points.
Similar to any magic item, how they are introduced and used in the game really depends on your campaign world and your playstyle.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's, I mean, whether it's the hammer of Thor crashing to Earth because it happened to land near you, but it really was thrown
It was
out
just
by
an
Odin
accident,
because
yeah.
he cast out Thor out of his time. Because, when he threw the hammer, it landed on Earth, right?
Yeah.
So who's to say that random shit doesn't happen and that deity comes looking for his shit later?
Yeah, it's like whole campaign session later, Thor comes back. He's like, few questions. One, you're wielding my hammer.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Fair enough. He threw you off of that.
Second, how'd you get that?
I found it.
You know what? Keep it. I'm going.
I'll get a new one. I'll get a bigger one.
I got a
He'll
bigger
come
one.
back with the big
It's
one.
like a
Was
big
it
maul.
Stormbreaker that he had? And him and Captain America,
Yeah.
they end up switching weapons. He's like, wait, no, you get the little one. Anyways, each legacy item has a list of special features that increase the effectiveness depending on the power grade, which is basically determined by the tier that the characters are in.
Yep.
Which I think is a great way to do it. It's easy
It's
to
solid,
scale,
yeah.
and the players know exactly when they're going to get their upgrades, just like for feats or magic or special magical features and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really
Pretty streamlined.
cool way to do it. Yeah.
Pretty plug in and play kind of way.
Yeah. One thing I do want to talk about before we get into the few items that we've chosen.
Sure.
This I want to give credits to designer Rich Leskoflair. I'm sure I messed that up, but he is the designer of this, and I want to say that the cover artist Krzysztof Grabalski did a phenomenal job because I love this
Yeah, it looks
this
real
female
good.
dark knight elf thing sitting on a throne with this massive, blade that clearly is a legacy weapon, and it looks badass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks really good.
so nice job, team.
Good on you.
So there's a lot of different weapons and stuff in here. We're not going to cover them all because, it's A, I don't have the time, and B, if we just give them to y'all, we're just giving away free products that aren't ours. So
And we don't want to do that.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we each have picked an item or two that we're going to discuss that we think's interesting. Maybe we'll talk about some of the other ones. The first thing I want to focus on, and I've made a point about this before, is that there isn't in 4th edition there was a lot of magical focuses.
There's a lot of things on 4th edition.
And or foci. Is it
Fourth-
foci or focuses? Foci.
It depends on who you talk to.
Anyways, in this one, they've actually kind of brought that idea back. So, for instance, the Frostfire focus is a legacy focus that requires attunement by a druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. Now, when you first pick up the weapon in the first tier, which is levels 1 through 4, then 5 through 6. 10?
Yeah, 1 through 5, 5 through
10?
10, then 11
Okay.
through 15.
So when you first get this item, it's a focus, has 7 charges. It's not a weapon. It's a focus, right?
Here's a focus.
And while holding it, you can use the action to spend. You can use an action to spend one of its charges to cast Burning Hands or Fog of Cloud from it, using your spell save DC, and it regains 1d6 plus expended charges, plus 1 expended charges at dawn. Now, so this is a magic item that you can cast Burning Hands through or Fog Cloud, which already I think is really cool. And I don't know if this is intentional because I've seen this kind of level of strength in these weapons pretty consistently. This is powerful.
Yep.
The fact that it only costs 1 and you get 7 of them, if you give
Yeah.
this to a player at level 1, this is very much going to be a weapon that they're going to carry, or an item they're going to be carrying indefinitely.
Yeah, it's gonna be there for at least through the very early levels, and because that's when they're not gonna have a lot of spell slots to begin with.
Oh,
and
now you got
starting
7.
out 7 extra. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
So I do think this is definitely something made for a DM who wants to make their characters extraordinary on top of the really ridiculous shit they can already do. So keep that in mind, that your challenges for them will be much harder using some of these items.
Inversely, as a DM, that means you can throw bigger challenges at them. And some players are totally down with that.
Yeah.
Yes. I would be careful. You can give them more HP, but be careful by picking a bigger monster that can just club them in one shot.
Yeah.
Because that's a hard thing to balance. But he's right. So
On the other hand, though, it does only recover 1d6 plus 1 of the charges. So I mean, it's not a whole.
that just means you're not going to necessarily get them all every day.
Yeah.
But still, that's still
I
a
guess the
lot.
chance is still there. Yeah.
Because you're gonna, at the very least, you're gonna get 2. On average, you're gonna get 4.
Yeah.
So that's still, even
Yeah, I
if you
guess it's
only
still
ever got
pretty
the
good.
average, you're gonna get
Yeah.
4 uses a day, and
Mhm.
that's a lot of burning hands.
It's a lot of burning hands.
It is worth noting that it doesn't say like it scales or anything.
Yeah.
So at higher levels, it's still gonna be just burning hands at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the way I
So it won't
interpret it.
scale up. Yeah.
Right. So
And
once
of
you
course,
hit,
just start getting like fire.
so at 5th level,
Yeah.
it upgrades to superior, which means when your focus reaches this grade, it gains the following properties. While holding this focus, you have resistance to fire damage.
Pretty cool.
Okay, that's
Now you're just like every fiend in the game.
yeah, and every tiefling. So
Yep.
tieflings aren't special, no more bitches. The number of charges increases to 10. Okay. There was already plenty of those.
I was
in
gonna
my
say
opinion.
maybe. All right. I mean,
I feel
yeah,
like
whatever.
that's probably unnecessary, or maybe something that should have been moved farther down. And it
Well,
says,
we'll see.
as an action, you can expend a number of charges to cast one of the following spells from it: Fireball for 3 charges, or Firewall for 4 charges. Now, Firewall, is that a 4th level spell?
Good question.
I think that's a 4th level spell.
If you, enough fire balls, third.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now you're
What a
getting some a more powerful frost fire focus. Can really do some damage here. But it's still just kind of giving you a lot of more oomph.
Yeah, it's giving
And
you a lot of firepower.
And yes, 4th.
It is 4th. So that's pretty good. I mean,
Pretty
what
high
what?
for 5th level.
Yeah, because don't wizards only get 3rd level spell slots at 5th level?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whew, so you're really gonna be able to push out some damage with this.
But this doesn't make you any, like beefier. So remember that
Yeah,
you're still
a sword's still gonna stab and kill you.
Yeah, you're still gonna get you're still made of glass. Sorry, bud.
So now it moves on to master level when you reach level 10,
Okay.
where you get new features. You now gain resistance to cold damage. This is where the frost fire name comes in, and this is why I like it, right? Because you took a single, 2 individual themes and kind of meshed them together.
Yeah.
So as an action, you can expend a number of charges to cast one of the following spells: Cone of Cold, or Ice Storm, or Wall of Ice.
Okay.
Now that's some power.
I don't think this gave you any.
But you
extra
didn't get any
charges.
more. It doesn't gain you any more charges like
Yep.
the previous one did. And then at Epic tier, which is level 15 or higher, you get access to. It now gives you a +2 bonus to spell attack rolls. This right here is the thing I would have expected to be at a lower level. I would say when you hit that 2nd tier, instead of giving both fire and firewall, I would have or wall of fire or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen it give maybe instead
Like
a
a
+1 to your spellcasting buff. That's just me.
Would you include spell saves as well? Like a +1 to spell saves?
Yeah,
And
that's one thing I think's missing out of the game. And actually, we've made 1 or 2 magical items. I don't know if I've used them on the show or in my games that have actually buffed the spell save DCs. Because there's nothing worse than somebody saving on your shit.
Yeah.
You know?
And especially when it does nothing when they do save it. So yeah, I do get that.
But anyway, so that's pretty cool. But now you get a +2, which is pretty dope. Increasing success rates. The number of charges increases to 20.
You doubled it.
And you regain 2d8 +4 at dawn. So to me, at this point, this becomes an item you're probably going to be using
you'll
more
never
than
use
you're-
anything else.
Right, at least till you're out, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It's like reloading. You pull out a different wand. You're like, this one's empty right now. I'm gonna pull out this one.
I've seen builds that do that.
Oh, see. And then you also, as an action, can expend a number of charges to cast Firestorm or Freezing Sphere. 1 for 7 charges, 1 for 6 charges. Now, don't get me wrong. I really think this is really, really cool. I do think that there is a risk of imbalance on the player's end. But as the DM, as they have already put it, you can easily beef them up and
Oh yeah.
go from there. But you do take on that risk. I do think once again, this is a guild, a DM's Guild adept who is far better writer than me, and has way more experience in all this stuff. I think that I would have preferred that the charges be a little more higher value, so you can use the features a little less. Because it sounds like to me, if I pick this is probably all I would ever really need as a caster, and I would save all my spell slots for like support abilities or something like that.
But maybe that's the idea,
and that very well may be.
and that could be it. Or maybe you just want to be like, I am constantly throwing spells into my foes, and I'm going to field wipe everybody nonstop. So maybe there's that too. I don't know.
And there's a lot of fun that can be had in that, especially as a DM when you can surround your player that has things like Fireball with targets for Fireball, so they really feel, yeah, burning in hell, you bastards, you know.
I mean, I just realized you can cast Fireball like 6 times.
Yes, that's what I said. I think
6 fireballs. What? I'm sorry, man. I mean, I know it's commonly resisted, especially by that level.
that's true.
But 6 fireballs is still 6 fireballs.
It's like,
It's
Oprah,
only
you
gonna-
get a Fireball, you get a Fireball.
If that boss had minions, it doesn't have the minions anymore. Like, it's just a crater.
That made me think of like eventually a game where we hit 5th level, I get Fireball, and like one player was like, dude man, Fireball's not the end all be all spell. Me, Fireball goes boom. So do my enemies.
Yeah,
Fair enough. And I had one more comment. The characters that can use this, the sorcerer, the wizard, the warlock makes sense. I don't understand why the druid is included in it.
Yeah, because
It seems to me that they went with like the primary spellcasters from the PHP,
Maybe.
and this actually is like worth mentioning to me. I actually did look through this and did a quick search, and none of the items say anything about like artificers being able to use any magical weapons.
So
And-
maybe they didn't include those.
Right, and I did look it up. This came out after the Eberron's Sourcebook came out, so it's not like artificers didn't already exist. And it is also worth mentioning that the artificers, yes, they can later on use magical items that are meant for other classes. They can ignore that, but they don't get that till level 14.
I see.
So it takes a while to even get it in the first place. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. I just thought it's worth mentioning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you've got somebody playing Artificer, I guess you could easily just say, oh, and if you can, anything that says Wizard on it, you can.
Yeah,
you can attune
because
to.
like using magical items is kind of the artificer's theme.
Just
So
shtick.
Yeah.
All right. Overall, what do you guys think?
I like it. I mean, I do like the theme, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's it definitely sells what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
It's just holy cow. That I mean, I guess it's the epic tier, right? Like it's literally like you're starting at level 15, you're already starting to scrap with like demigods and stuff, right? So I mean, I get it. You kind of need that kind of firepower to be tussling with those guys anyway.
For sure.
And I do think getting like the bonus to attack as you level up, it alone's worth it. But all the other things you get on top of that, and as we have seen, you get quite a few things, just makes it that much better.
Resistances too. It's quite a full package, honestly.
Yeah, one of the things that I think I would like to see in something like this, and maybe I'll design something, where it's less about giving you access to casting more or casting spells via charges, but adds them to your spell list.
That
So
would
it
be
still
cool.
consumes your resources, but just expands your options.
Although you could argue too that that might be a balancing thing that they put in there.
That's why I said it may very
Yeah.
well. I preface this with this person's a better writer than me and probably has more experience balancing than I do. So, but those are really the only things that I think that come to me jump out as ideas. Like early on, it's called Frostfire. I would like to see access to the Frost a little sooner than, third tier? Is it second tier
Yeah, it
or
was like
third
third tier.
Third tier. So maybe you get Fireball and something else. I don't know, Frostbite. I don't know. Just off the top of my head. Though I guess you get Fog Cloud, which is pretty cool in that kind of similar vein. But
I think it's just hard to. What I think as well is that when they got to like the 5th level tier and the 10th level tier, it's hard to mix the resistances, right? Because you don't want to give them both resistances at the same time,
Yeah.
and that would be like ridiculous.
right,
Suddenly, this guy's walking in a volcano, and there's a blizzard going on outside, and he's totally fine.
he doesn't care.
Yeah, he's fine. He doesn't care.
All right, so who's got the next one on the list?
You can go next. Yeah.
That would be me.
What did you
Yep.
pick up?
I'll admit, there was quite a few great weapons in here. We still might touch on them later. And I definitely went back and forth between quite a
Yeah.
few. But the one I ended up picking in the end was the speed weapon.
Okay.
Okay.
And the speed weapon, it is a legacy weapon, requires attunement, obviously, but just being the document. But
Yeah.
and it's any one-handed melee weapon, so no great swords, no great axes.
Yeah.
But it gives you access to all martial and simple weapons, so it can benefit most
Yeah.
classes then, which is cool.
Yep.
It's not like just a scimitar.
Yeah.
And the flavor for this weapon increases a wielder's quickness and fluidity. When used in combat, the increased rate of motion causes your form to slightly blur and shift through the air. When the weapon is on your person, you gain +2 to initiative when you're not incapacitated.
Ooh.
And this
like
obviously benefits quite a few people.
Yeah.
Actually, +2 initiative just benefits everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, it benefits
just get that out
everybody.
the
It's
way.
just really good.
And this is actually a pretty good start. And if you are surprised, you can use your reaction to draw the weapon and make one attack with it.
That's badass. I like
Now
that.
that would certainly catch an enemy off guard. Charge, motherfucker! What? I had surprise.
Yeah, he's like, how did he do that? He's like, I didn't. This did it. And he's like looking at his sword, and the guy's like, it doesn't make any sense. He's bleeding.
So not only is this weapon awesome, I'm also a swashbuckler rogue. Take sneak attack.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, that's just so good. I like that.
You surprise me, I surprise you.
Could you get assassinate off that as an assassin rogue?
I would say no
I would
because
say
they went
'cause
before
they
you.
went before you did, and you
Yeah.
responded to them. But man, that would be cool.
Because you could just be like, because who would expect that? When you have the surprise and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the drop on this guy, I'm gonna get the first hit, and then suddenly this guy gets the first hit.
Did you watch
It'd be crazy.
in Robin Hood
that's
Men in
true.
Tights? This reminds me of it, where he's kissing his weapon and he goes like this, and the guy walks into his blade as he's trying to ambush him. That's what this reminds me of.
Holy
Anyway,
crap.
obviously here we have a really good start.
Yeah.
We do.
And then we hit Superior. When the weapon reaches this grade, it gains the following properties. You get +1 to attack and damage rolls made as a weapon. Standard, but never bad.
Mm-hmm.
The weapon gains a Finesse property if it didn't already have it.
Use a
So,
longsword. Ooh.
or axes, or hammers.
Oh,
Figure that one out.
hammer. My hammer has wheels.
I have a finesse hammer.
Which
It has
just
wheels.
increases your versatility, and this is a great add-on for dex-based characters, obviously.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also draw or sheath this weapon simultaneously with another weapon as part of your attack action.
It's designed for dual wielding.
Even though you don't actually need to dual wield with this one,
Yeah.
which we'll get into why. Master,
Okay.
when the weapon reaches this grade, it becomes a +2 weapon,
Okay.
Okay.
and you can make one attack with this weapon as a bonus action on each of your turns.
That's
Now,
why you don't need to dual wield.
right, and the other benefit to this is if you're a fighter who has like the duelist feature that gets extra damage to just wielding a weapon one-handed, it's like you get the benefits of dual wielding without actually dual wielding,
Right.
plus the fighting one other fighting style. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
really
much
good.
more effective.
That is
Man,
cool. I
that's
like
awesome.
that. And
So it's like so you can look at a duelist in a duel and go, I do what you two do, but better.
that reminds me of
Literally.
when I used to watch the old Dragon Ball, and they're fighting and they're moving so fast, and the audience can't follow. And he's like, "Well, here's what I did first. I followed one punch up with 9." They're like, "What?" That's kind of what I reminded. He just cut him once. No, he thrusted about 6 times there, buddy.
He's like, but I couldn't
Yeah.
see it. I know, but
That's
I
the
could.
point. Get it? The point?
Jesus.
I slay myself
All right, and the
with
epic
the
tier,
sword. Speed weapon.
Spade.
an epic tier, becomes the +3 weapon.
God, I was only the master tier, and it's already so good.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus! I didn't even recognize that.
And for the master tier, becomes a +3 weapon. You
Or-
have
Epic tier. Epic tier.
now it loses the +2 initiative bonus. However, it's replaced with advantage on initiative rolls if you're not incapacitated.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and op attacks are against you are made with disadvantage.
Against you, that is.
That's really good. That's
Yeah.
solid.
It basically gives you
You're
the displacer beast ability.
Yep.
That's cool. And it doesn't stop. Like
No.
the displacer ability, displacement, when you get hit, it actually stops for a short time. This is just indefinitely for opportunity attacks. That's pretty cool.
Just for op attacks, mind you, but
You
still.
can still run around.
yeah, you can.
Makes you
suddenly-
very mobile.
This gives you so much movement. Like honestly.
You
Like-
stab a lot of people really quick.
Yeah. Holy
'Cause,
cow.
like as you like I said, I just picked this because anybody that can use a one-handed weapon
Can
benefits
you-
from this.
Yeah, which is really
Period.
cool.
Like literally.
It's very a versatile
And as
legacy weapon.
And as we established, there are some classes that benefit from this more than others, but it's still quite
Looking at
handy.
you, the assassin rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
At
fighter.
advantage on
Or
initiative
paladin.
rolls.
See,
or-
I
yeah,
was-
literally anybody.
And along with,
A druid with shillelagh and a stick.
yep.
Yeah, you could.
I'm gonna shillelagh the shit out of you.
At
This is a
hyper
good one.
speeds.
I like that.
Yeah.
It very much combines a bunch of different cool things. The one thing I think is most interesting about it is that it gives you the option to attack as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Sure, that's at higher tiers, but there's a lot of classes that aren't bonus action heavy. Like a cleric, bonus action heavy. They've always got something to do with their bonus action.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or a rogue. Always has something to do with
Rogue and I think Rogue,
monks.
Sorcerer, Monk, and
Cleric.
Cleric are like the ones that are like really bonus action heavy.
And spell smites for paladins.
Are they? Oh, the when they do smite, but that's not something that they do so
Spell smites,
regularly. Yeah,
yes.
but that's not something they can do like every single round. Eventually,
No,
they
no,
run
no.
out. So,
Yeah, so, like,
paladins,
paladin would benefit,
fighters,
fighters would
even
benefit.
druids, I think, if they're not using healing word, they probably would benefit from this quite a bit too. So
Yep.
Berserkers. Or not berserkers. Fucking barbarians.
barbarians, yeah, I guess they just kind of rage and hope for the best.
Yeah, they could benefit from
That's
this.
kind of their entire thing.
Right.
I mean, yeah, but now they can hit twice while they're enraged. So I mean, hey, that's really good.
Ooh, so this is like the berserker feature that
That
without
does-
the
without the
without the
drawback.
exhaustion. Congratulations. You want to be a berserker? Give your player this weapon. They'll never have to worry about exhaustion again.
Yeah, literally never
If you
again.
want to be berserker without actually being berserker, but better.
Yeah. Well, it is worth noting that when the berserker uses their frenzy, though, they don't have to use the attack action.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of the reason to take that feature in the first place. So.
Well, yeah, but sometimes it's nice to have an extra opportunity to drink a potion or pull a lever or kick a door down. Or
I thought that was just for attacks.
no, it's not. That's what makes it different. Is you can take it's kind of like
You can still use the bonus action for an attack, but you can still use like
you
an
can
object
use a regular.
action.
Yeah, you can do anything else because you're basically you attack with your bonus action and then it lets you freeze up your regular action.
True.
Which is kind of it's actually makes them pretty versatile, but the drawback is pretty
hefty.
So anyways, we got derailed there. All right, so what object or weapon did you choose? You actually picked armor, didn't
I
you?
picked armor. So I actually chose 2 here because armors really didn't have a lot to work with, but I'm still gonna just end up talking about the versatile armor because that one had a lot more to actually talk about here.
Okay.
So the versatile armor is light or medium armor, so it cannot be heavy armor.
Sorry, paladins.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can probably still work with, like, you know, what is it, the half plate or whatever? I mean, that's still, like, what, 16 AC, right? Something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. So this armor is super lightweight, functional, and maximizes its utility for any given scenario. It can be worn under normal clothes, and at its initiate grade, the armor provides the following effects. If the armor normally imposes disadvantage on dexterity stealth checks or has a strength requirement, the mithril version of the armor doesn't. So basically you just don't have to... It's a lightweight armor.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's already really...
That's kind of what the elf chainmail is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't count as...
You automatically succeed on saving throws made against exposure to extreme heat or extreme cold.
See, this would be great for my players in my games.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the superior part of this is you have a +1 bonus to AC while wearing this armor, of course.
So, if it's light or medium, what is the armor class bonus?
Depends on what you're
Or
wearing.
you pick which one. So you might have
Yeah, you can
versatile
just-
hide armor.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
versatile leather. Okay, I got it. I was
Yep,
like,
yep,
what's
yep,
its
yep, yep.
base? I don't know, but I got it now.
Yeah, it's any armor that you can find, basically.
I gotcha.
So the master part of this is when the armor reaches this grade, it gains the following properties. The AC bonus increases to 2, and you have a swimming and climbing speed equal to your walking speed. So suddenly
Okay.
you can be anywhere.
Yeah, it makes you very mobile.
Yes, and I like anything that allows me to not have to suffer any consequences of movement. I want to climb buildings and swim, please. And then the epic property, because that was just the master property. It wasn't, again, their armors aren't really super heavy or like any, like, well, especially in this case. They usually don't have a lot going on, but this one has a little bit more. So the epic...
You know, I've had that air conditioner on for a long time. I don't think it's ever gotten to the temperature that I set it to that it shut off. So that just kind of threw us off for a loop for a second.
Yeah, we all were like, what on earth?
Sorry.
We thought we had like a power outage or
Right?
something. That's what I thought. I was like, what?
Not again!
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, the epic grade to this, the AC bonus increases to +3, so that's really like good on its own. And then you have advantage on initiative rolls and dexterity saving throws while wearing this armor. So yeah, that's
This
really
is
great.
definitely just a set of armor that gives you mobility and increases your defenses as it grows, in your experience with you. This kind of reminds me of
or any. I just realized because it gives advantage on dex saving throws, like a rogue or a monk with evasion would just love this.
just like giving the middle finger to the DM.
Yeah,
every day.
it's just like, you can't hit me with anything that's dexterity based. Well, I'm just gonna poison you to death then. Fine.
Joke's on you. I'm a dwarf and immune to poison, or have advantage on them.
Advantage.
I think
Oh
it's
damn,
advantage.
they're not immune anymore. They were immune before, weren't they? Or was that 4E? Was that different?
Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't
Anyways,
know.
so I think this is really cool. This is of all the items, I think this is the one that would most likely be able to make it into a campaign without any risk of like
Yeah.
issues being come from it, because a lot of that stuff is situational. The swimming, the climbing, the temperate bonuses. I do like the advantage on the initiative rolls and deck saves, that's pretty powerful. But that's like at epic levels. So
I like the not imposed disadvantage on stealth checks. I'm always a big fan of that because I think it's really dumb. I'm wearing a suit of armor. It's like, well, yes, they could hear me, but also, what if I'm like way out in the middle of nowhere and they couldn't possibly see me or hear me? But so all I have to do is hide and like, whatever.
Our Kickstarter jumped up twice during this broadcast.
nice.
Thank you.
Get us closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. So it is worth noting that these are pretty much all armor pieces and weapons. Like I talked about foci, but I think it actually, you can have the focus come in the form of like a staff if you want or something like that. If I'm reading this right.
Or in
which
this
I'm
case, a
probably not.
bazooka, it may as well be.
Right? For that one particularly, yeah. I do think there's interesting weapon in here. Did you said there was one more you wanted to talk about?
I had another armor. It was just like a really short one.
Let's talk about it then.
Sure.
Which one
So
is
the
it?
other one I like because I love seeing my stats just increase, just flat. I like watching the numbers go up, guys.
Which doesn't happen often in
No.
5th edition as
No.
it does in other games.
It was the protection armor. So this one can be any armor. So this can be for your paladins or anything. Which, by the way, this is probably really good for some paladins with high charisma. So this armor provides versatile overall protection. While you wear it, you have a +1 bonus to saving throws.
Paladins don't need more saving throw bonuses, man.
No, they don't.
You guys suck.
Having a
You get a
+5
+4. You get a +4. Everyone gets a +4. Is it like a D4 or whatever? Still, it sucks.
No, it's +5.
Sucks.
Yeah.
It's just a raw +5. You can't.
But don't you have an aura too on top of that?
No, that is the aura.
Oh man, that's horrible.
I thought this over here. Anyway.
But anyway, the superior rating is you get a +1 bonus to AC while wearing it. The master is just a +2 bonus to AC. And when it reaches the epic grade, it's a +3 bonus to AC, and then the saving throw bonus is a +2. So you are not going to get hit with many conditions probably by this point, depending on what you are. But paladins would probably be like, haha, you can't touch me. I'm invincible.
Now, there's something I want to talk about this. There's something that I don't feel like this...
Yep, it's also your charisma modifier. Or protection.
Yeah, or
Which
protection
is
based
what
off
it is,
charisma,
so you're
so it's
+5.
+5.
Yeah. Anyway, so the one thing I want to talk on that I don't, maybe I just missed it in my read through, but it doesn't talk about the evolution and the evolving of the weapons. So
like the actual physical form
do
of
they
the weapon.
physically change? To me,
That'd be cool if they did.
they should. A good example would be with your armor you were just talking about.
The protection one or the versatile
The
one?
versatile one. You're
Okay.
basically, it's making you lighter. So what if it's like starts like changing material? So it starts off as like a heavy chain, and then it goes from like a steel to like a really light aluminum or something like that. It's physically changing. Or the Frostfire foci. Maybe when you first get it, it has, you know, a little fiery float. It's a wooden staff that's got like a little fiery orb that floats over it. And when it becomes stronger, that orb becomes multiple orbs. Or when it gets ice, it's now got 2 orbs floating around it. If it's the speed weapon, maybe it. I'm gonna get weird on here. Maybe it grows little wings on there, like Hermes, you know, to represent that it's, you know, getting faster. Or maybe it hums or vibrates.
Or gets more blurry just from looking at it.
Yeah, that's a good one too. It just starts to get kind of distorted, right?
Yep.
Which I think is cool. And coming up with a visual cue of how your weapon evolves means you can start off with a weapon that just seems mundane, but at the next tier, all of a sudden, it's recognizable by everyone as not being normal. And it stands out. More importantly, to the NPCs and the way people can interact with the heroes. Because you know a bandit's not going to F around with somebody who's got a sword that's humming, you know, or, you know, something that's
Only when it's unsheathed, though.
not normal.
Because
Yeah, it's
so
a
it
singing
doesn't.
blade. Can't be stealthy with it, right? Okay, so maybe it's just like all fuzzy or something. But maybe when you're wearing an armor that, you know, you're a druid and you've got this versatile armor, maybe it starts to change from regular bark armor to like a iron bark. Is it steel bark or iron bark? I think.
Iron bark.
Yeah.
And it physically starts to change. I feel like that could give you so much.
I was thinking with like the versatile armor too, like maybe because obviously armor tends to have like, you know, like gauntlets and whatnot. It could have like almost like these like really really tiny hooks on like the hand, so like that's how you climb.
That's how
It's
it
just
grows
really
out, grows right out of it. Oh man!
So you just plant your hand on it. It's like, wow, that's really sturdy.
And you can totally fit it to fit your character's theme too,
Mm-hmm.
because it's evolving with you. It may change to reflect your character's personality. I really like this because your character the weapon becomes just a literal extension of the character.
Yeah.
And you know, a druid who is a what's the water race, the swimmer, Triton.
Yeah, that's one of them.
The Triton, maybe your weapon when it levels up, it starts to drip water or something, or you know, mist appears around it all the time, or something that ties to your character's race or their class or their faith.
It seems to rain more often.
Right, little storm cloud right above you all the time. But either way, I think that would be really a great way to get the most out of these legacy weapons. It is worth noting there's other stuff in here, like they do give some bonds called legacy bonds, which I thought was pretty cool. It says, like, for instance, the item bears historical significance to a character's adventuring faction. So that actually ties it to like whatever faction you might be in, whether it's Harper's or the Lord's Alliance or whatever. I think it's the Lord's Alliance. I forget.
That's one of them. Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to touch on really quick was a variant of it for Runestones. So if you're not into just giving them these features outright, it gives you details and rules for all the legacy weapons have sockets, and you can socket in the Runestones.
Yeah.
And it basically tells you the power grade and how much rarity it adds to the weapon. So you can pick and choose which features they get out of the items, as far as I can understand.
Yeah, I think that was like the general consensus from it.
So, overall, what'd you guys think?
It's pretty cool. It's definitely a lot more tame than the Ancestral Weapons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like significantly more tame. I remember looking back at the Ancestral Weapons not too long ago, and I was like, man, these 1 point wonders, this is so stupid.
They're
Literally
powerful.
just 1 point. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got advantage on death saves, poison saves, dex saves. Sorry, I got advantage
But
on
that
everything.
certainly gave you a lot more customization.
Yes, I will say that you could definitely do a lot more with Ancestral Weapons, but if you just want to give someone some like just cool evolving gear, and you can kind of just think of like the story with it on like the fly or something, like this would definitely be a really good idea too.
You could even work with the player to develop the story.
Good.
Maybe not reveal all that it does, but say, hey, this what sort of weapon would you, if you had to carry one weapon through the entire game with you, what one would it be? And could you give it a 2-3 sentence backstory for me? So, anyways, I think this is a cool product. It's definitely one that I could see myself using if I didn't already have a bunch of other DMs Guild stuff in my campaign. That gives my players enough extra options.
Talents and stuff.
The talents are awesome. I do.
I do
those.
like the talents. They definitely.
They've been handy, no question.
Yeah.
They've saved my ass a lot. Let me tell you.
I think that'll do it for our main topic today: Armaments of Legacy. There it goes.
Now it's back on.
Before we
Yes. What's up?
oh, I have a paragraph here, and I was like, when did I write that? But I don't actually remember writing that, and I don't think either of you wrote it.
Nope.
It says the concept of legacy items and their use may not fit in all campaigns or adventure scenarios. There may be limitations in either the storyline or adventure, or where it doesn't easily allow for the story-centric items. In that situation, it is recommended to use the Runestones, because then you can pick and choose, like, what is that, a la carte?
Yeah.
Is that when you just pick
Yep.
out of
Yep.
something?
A la
No.
carte. Yeah.
And may benefit your story a little more. I don't know if that is something I copied from the book or I put there. I don't remember putting that there. It just showed up.
Not a clue.
That'll do it for our main topic today. Before we move on to our honor tips and tricks, we have another gift to give away. Woo! Compliments of Jeff Stevens. Who also got us these awesome shirts.
We got Jeff Steven Gang
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah. Jeff is so awesome. He sent us these shirts. I totally forgot to mention them, but I knew once we got to his part of the show, I knew they're so dope. Thank you, Jeff. You're awesome. It was so nice of him. Not only did he get them for us, but he also got one for my wife. I noticed yours is different.
Yep.
It's nice and faded. I like the black shadowy look.
Yeah.
It's not inside out, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that'd be
Ours
really
are nice
weird.
and bright and white, and his is like a gray.
Yeah.
Yep. Tags on the inside.
Okay, he's like, I gotta check.
like,
So Jeff, thank you so much. If you guys haven't checked out Jeff's stuff, he is absolutely an amazing writer. So he's got fantastic content, been doing it for years, and
Dude's
it's just
incredible.
he's just a fun guy to have on. All right, now let's give away his free stuff.
Our next giveaway from Jeff is Scourge of the Nightingale, Part 1, A Song of Love. A masked menace terrifies the region, raiding villages to fund her devious plan. Unknowingly, the adventurers stumble into her most recent evil scheme, the kidnapping of a famous performer known as Devon Artis. Their mission is to deliver a ransom and collect Devon, though, as in most cases, not all goes as planned.
It's worth noting that if you have played his Night of the Rise, which has an absolutely amazing twist in it, that I think he's talked about on the show. I think he did, where the players get to basically take the place of some actors. And they end up putting on a performance for the guy they're hunting in order to sneak into his bandit camp. There's very much that sort of story in this, which makes it absolutely amazing experience. We really need to get together because I've only played the first one, so we need to do that. All right, who is our winner today?
Our winner today is Van Beek BR.
Woo!
Yay!
Congratulations!
He
You the
did it.
man, Van. Huh.
Yeah.
Happy accident. If you didn't win, have no fear. Head on over to critacademy.com/Jeff Stevens and get Villains and Lairs 3 and Encounters on the Savage Seas 3 free. Do it. Van Beek, if you enjoyed the product, please leave Jeff Stevens a review. Tell him how much you like it. Tell him you got it from us, and thank him for being awesome.
Every
As
time
we
I
do.
click on his name on DMsguild, I'm just amazed at the sheer amount of content
Yes,
he's put out and how
it's-
consistently good it's
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he just doesn't sleep.
I would not be surprised.
We've talked to the man. It makes sense.
Yeah, right. So moving on to our unearthed tips and tricks, we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs. Who wants to talk about our character concept? That'll be me, I guess.
None of us decided. We're like,
So our character concept comes from patron Stephen Kern. JP Arc.
Okay.
I have created a Beastmaster Ranger called JP Arc. He is a green dragonborn who has a velociraptor pet that is black and purple named Purpel. He has bagpipes that he uses to play the Jurassic Park theme song. He has the Outlander background, and my influence for this character is Chris Pratt's character in Jurassic World. I literally had to facepalm when he came to our game with this. Because I didn't put it together until he actually did what you just did with the music.
That's some wild stuff. What on earth?
Do you get the name?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It made me facepalm.
JP Arc.
Yes. But it was funny. And it was really cool to see him take a character that is in a movie that's not even related to, like, any sort of, like,
Hard fantasy
anything.
medium.
Yeah. Or action. Or, I mean, well, except for people getting eaten, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, I think what would be great, does the Ranger have access to, like, hold person or anything like that? Because I would totally love to see him run up and then do that thing that Chris Pratt does with the Raptors and say, I cast hold person. This is really interesting just because it's a character that's focused more on a theme that he brought in. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I mean,
he
I've made-
ran with something and it sold. So hey, you know what? Good on you.
and I've made plenty of like a joke / pun characters before, and this is in the same vein.
Just
So
adds right to it, right?
Put
You
it
know-
right in the repertoire.
now that I think about it, I never have run that bard I've been threatening to run who plays a didgeridoo for his his bardic instrument.
Isn't the dinosaur that Chris Pratt's character is interested in named Blue?
Yep.
Purple.
which has a blue stripe.
All right, then.
We have a lot of unique people in this world.
Yes, clearly. Thank you for your submission, Stephen.
We love you.
If you enjoy this character concept, give it a shot. Let us know. Have you run something as thematically heavy, inspired by a character who's not from a fantasy realm? Send it to us. I'd love to read about it. That'll do it for our character concept today. JPR. Oh, God. I can't. I can't. Would you like to tell us about our magic item or our monster variant, or should I do that?
Sure.
All right. Tell us about it.
Today's monster variant is the Hail Scourge.
Ooh.
The Hail Scourge are elemental knights who have shed their natural bodies to sense vigil over a place of significance. Their souls draw water from the air around it to form armor and weapons out of ice, often shaping them into blades similar in shape to a massive windmill like shuriken, perfect for battling enemies near or far.
Ooh.
Most do not know why they go as far as they do to defend these locations, but their dedication makes them a fierce opponent few have encountered, let alone survive.
Ooh. So how do we create this bad boy?
Yep. First off, we start with a djinn. And you lose a few features, being lightning and thunder immunity. And you lose their spell list. You lose the scimitar. You lose multi-attack times 3. But their new features...
What do they get?
Yeah, I was going to say, what was the part we're starting with this again?
Okay. Now, they do, in return, get multi-attack times 2, which is not as good as times 3. But...
It's like Kaioken. Times 2 is just not as good as times 3.
Yeah,
No.
it just doesn't work.
But they are now effectively a 5th level spellcaster. Their at-wills are Detect Evil and Good, Detect Magic, as well as Ray of Frost. That's definitely on brand. 3 times per day, they can use create ordinary water and tongues, so they can get a lot of communication from that. And once per day, they can cast Cone of Cold, Ice Storm, and Plane Shift, which is definitely a FU attack or spell here and there.
I like it.
Good, good.
And they gain Ice Shuriken, which can be used in range or melee, plus 9
That's
to hit,
nice.
5-foot reach, or their range is 30/120 for long range. One target, and they hit, it's 2d6 plus 5 slashing, plus 1d6 cold damage.
See, that's pretty good. That's a really nice weapon.
Yeah.
Wait, does it come back on its own?
It does
does
now.
Oh, that's right. I designed this. You think I would have thought it through. But they can just form it out of ice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was in the flavor. I guess you probably should tell that. I should put that in a more, like an action. As a bonus action, you get create one or something. I should fix that.
And they also have Sleet Storm, which recharges on a 5 or a 6.
Nice. I love this one.
Freezing rain and sleet surrounds the area the Hail Scourge chooses in a 20-foot tall cylinder with a 40-foot radius. The area is heavily obscured, and exposed flames in the area are doused. The Sleet Storm lasts as long as the Hail Scourge maintains it. Maintain concentration, as if it is a concentrating spell.
So it can be broken.
Yep. The ground in the area is covered with slick ice, making it difficult terrain. When a creature enters the aura for the first time on the or starts their turn there, it must succeed on a DC 18 Dex save. On a fail save, it falls prone.
Pretty good.
If a creature is concentrating aura, the creature must make a DC 18 con save throw or lose concentration. So yeah, this can screw over some major spellcasters pretty good.
Yeah.
And they have legendary actions.
Wait, there's more. It is a CR11, so.
Yeah.
The Hail Scourge, not Bull Adder, can take two legendary actions.
Somebody copy and pasted and forgot to fix that.
Choosing from one of the options below. Only one legendary option can be used at a time, and only at the end of another creature's turn. They regain the legendary action at the start of its turn. The attack, it can make an attack. Make one Ice Shuriken attack or an at-will spell.
So
good.
there's your what?
There's your extra attacks.
I had to balance it somehow.
Yep. And potentially more than 3 actually per turn, so...
How so?
What do you mean, how so?
You can take 4.
Oh, yeah, because he gets 2 of them. Yeah, you're right.
He can make 4. 2 plus 2 is 4.
And Icy
I
Blast.
can count. Just not all at once.
And the other option they have is Icy Blast. They release a blast of ice and hail in a 30-foot long, 5-foot wide line. Any creature in the area may make a DC 18 strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away. If a creature fails its throw by 5 or more, they are knocked prone.
What do you guys think about this bad boy?
They can screw you up.
I like this. I want to fight one of these.
It's
I want to
fun.
die by one of these.
When I designed this, what did you think my goal was?
Ice, ice, baby.
Part
Part
of it, but there's
Part
more
of
than
it.
that. My goal was to make it make it as most interactive combat as possible.
It's quite versatile as well.
Yeah.
So by having an aura, that affects the characters. They can slip, they can fall, they can break their concentration.
I was even thinking you can make the aura like damage like a little bit.
I had considered it, but I'm already pushing the bounds of the upper damage limit of this CR. I don't know that it would make that much of a difference.
It's like 1d6 or something, like 1d4.
Yeah, like bludgeoning or something for the Sleet Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did have,
Or like just cold damage. Even.
and I had thought that, but it was one of those things, just like you gotta find a balance.
There's a line there.
Yeah, you gotta ride it pretty close. But I did think it was fun to give him access to his at-wills, which could also be used as like legendary actions, meaning he's going multiple times in a turn.
It's just some dude who's like some like ice knight who's just like, hey, I'm about to fuck you up. You're in the wrong spot, buddy. You got to turn around.
Look, dude, I'm here to protect this area. If you don't cross the line, fine. But you cross this line, you are going down.
I will make sure your day is ruined. And maybe your life, depending.
And not in that order.
Overall, what do you guys think? Pretty good? Pretty fun?
Really solid. I like it.
Yeah. I hope you do.
Does he
'Cause you
have
won't
any like
eventually.
do they have like any like cold resistances or anything like that?
He should be immune to cold, but
Okay.
some idiot forgot to put that on here. So
Okay, I was
there's
just
that.
wondering.
Yeah, because I took away his 2 immunities because I was going to change him to a different element.
Okay.
And clearly I forgot. See, this is why I need people to proofread my shit.
Hey, we remember.
I'm an
every once in a
idea
while.
guy. I'm not I write, but without editors, I'm
Yeah,
garbage.
I'm probably way worse in that regard myself, so.
We're going to go ahead and just add cold immunity on here.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah,
go.
throw it on there.
Yeah, it has cold immunity.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
Thanks for
Yeah,
asking.
yeah. No, yeah.
Austin, would you like to tell us about our encounter of the podcast?
Absolutely. Our encounter today is Enchanting Meadow Encounter by Alan Hess. This vast, beautiful meadow is filled with a soft breeze and gentle critters happily frolicking. Great! It's pretty. A refreshing mist flows through the air and a rainbow arcs across the sky.
Double rainbow all
The-
the way.
Oh, God, it's so great. The grass at their feet is soft and inviting. The characters are greeted with calming and tranquil thoughts. The meadow drains the life essences as it uses the energy to grow the meadow and power its enchantment.
That's why I got
That
middle.
changed quick.
Yeah, I was like,
It's a tonal shift.
Oh, okay. When a creature enters an area of the enchanting meadow, must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or become magically charmed by the meadow. The creature is enthralled by the meadow's beauty and is paralyzed.
Shit.
It's
It is
so
thorns.
pretty.
It's so oh God, I can't move. It's pretty.
I'm just gonna take a nap right here. It's so comfortable and it's for the flowers.
Why is the thorns inside my legs?
Wrapping around and slowly
Yeah.
choking the life out of you.
It's still really
But
pretty.
it looks nice. Look at how nice that thin wire is. It's choking you.
He wants to give me a hug.
I want to embrace the nature. Whenever the charmed creature takes damage, the target can repeat the saving throw. On its success, the effect ends and it can run. No more
It
than
doesn't say that, does it?
no. It should though.
I thought I wrote that on accident.
No more than once every 24 hours, the target can repeat the saving throw, of course, and when it leaves the meadow. While a creature stands in an area in the enchanting meadow, it has its ensigns drained from it, or its blood, depending on what kind of meadow it is. A creature loses 1 hit die, oh god, every minute that it is spending in the meadow. Jesus Christ. If a creature has spell slots, it loses 1 spell slot an hour, starting from its highest level spell slot before it loses hit dice. Wowee!
So what does that sound like? That last part there.
That sounds like pain and misery.
It spellcasters are actually have a slower death than others.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? In a weird way.
So what do you guys think about this?
This beautiful metal song got really metal.
Yeah, I was like, it's so pretty. Da 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 da.
You're dead.
Where's this bass line coming from suddenly?
So this was submitted. I had to rewrite it so it was in the proper format
the waxy
that I've been
format.
doing. But when I got this from Alan Hess, I was just like, this is genius. And it fits perfect in our upcoming Fantastic Terrain, too.
Oh, yeah.
In
I
fact,
have a
that's
meadow
why I
that's
rewrote it, too.
Going to annihilate me.
Yeah. I thought this was awesome. I love the idea of there being lots of missing persons. And a spot of the Feywild bled into the world. And people who wandered through there got trapped in this beautiful area and are slowly just dying.
They're just being drained of all their life essence. Who would have guessed? Hey, well, you're looking a little thinner there, buddy. You doing all right?
So I guess it's now doubles as a weight loss program.
Where's this meadow? I need it immediately. Just tie a rope to me and pull me out after a few minutes, or after a little bit.
Like an hour later, I
right.
just pull you
Or a
out.
few
You're
days.
just skin and bones. I'm like, oh God, Justin, are you alright? He's like, I never felt better. This meadow is beautiful.
I felt so terrible, and yet I'm so skinny.
That's so funny. Actually, I don't know that that's supposed to be an hour. That seems kind of generous.
Every 10 minutes.
10 minutes sounds better.
Or every second. They
It
just, the
loses one
minute you
slot.
walk in it is the minute you start dying.
Right. But it looks like we want the spellcasters are more resistant because it'll drain their magic
drain their
before
magic
they
for
drains
them.
their physical.
Alternatively,
big
if they start
magic.
throwing a monster in there from the Feywild, suddenly they're in deep shit.
Yeah,
Because now
especially
the
if-
mages are like, hey, guys? and the fighter's like, what's wrong, dude? We're in a great meadow. Guys, do you not see the... No,
You totally got to turn everyone into stoners. Hey, dude.
you're doing
What's
great.
up?
Dude.
Say, just come over and smell the roses. They smell like blood. Why am I bleeding? The meadow's eating me!
But I don't
think this
want to
would be a
leave.
great- I
It's
think
like a
this is great.
sarlacc pit, but it's just grass.
Deadly grass. That's a new one. Some crazy shit happens in Faerun.
Yeah, this. I mean, that's kind of expected, right?
Right. I love it.
Cool. We got a good encounter out of that.
Thank you very much, Alan Hess, for the Enchanting Meadow.
Yay.
Our magical item is the Pick of Destiny from Oh God, It's Mason.
No, it's got to be a little better than that. It's oh God, it's Mason!
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do a good enough job. This is a weapon Morningstar with uncommon, requires attunement.
Specifically a morning star, guys.
Yeah.
Not used very often.
Except it isn't.
What?
Why is it a pickaxe?
What?
Except that it's not Morningstar when you read the description.
Oh, it's a pickaxe. Why does it say Morningstar there?
I don't
It's,
know.
I don't know what's right.
Maybe it uses a stat block for the Morningstar.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe stat block for
maybe.
morning star.
Let's change it to pickaxe then, since that's what's in the text. All right.
Well, let me double check that. But yeah.
So this pickaxe, or Morningstar apparently, created by a blacksmith turned demon slayer, so it's probably a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Was forged from 2 repossessed horns previously owned by a demonic priest and attached to a wrought iron handle. That's cool.
It's probably a war pick. It's the same stats as a Morningstar anyway.
Okay.
So.
So the war pick / pickaxe / Morningstar is apparently 2 demon horns attached to a wrought iron handle.
I just imagine the guy like, hey. So it's like walking up to some adventurer. Hey, I made a weapon. Yeah, you're a blacksmith. That's what you do. Yeah, but this one's cool. Look at it. And it's like, what the fuck is that? Oh, it was some demon horns strapped into a pickaxe. Oh, man. You want to buy it?
That's cursed. While you are attuned to this weapon, it glows red hot when within 30 feet of a fiend. That sounds familiar.
Interesting.
Didn't that happen? Isn't there a weapon that does that in
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings?
One with orcs.
Orcs.
And blue.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, after a weapon has slain a fiend enemy, the wielder is compelled to drive the pick into the corpse, and the body is drained of all blood.
Ooh.
After the body is drained, dwarvish text appears on the handle, and speaking the command words "rip" and "tear" as a bonus action.
That's a Doom reference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Causes the heads of the pick to spin like
Yep.
a saw in a saw-like fashion. The weapon's damage type changes from piercing to slashing and causes an additional 3d6 damage to fiends for 1 minute.
That is-
The weapon regains its 3 charges
Good lord. This,
at dawn.
This war pick suddenly transformed into a chain axe.
Yeah.
That
So it has
awesome.
it has 3 charges and it regains them at dawn.
What are the charges used for?
Activating it sounds like
Yep.
I think this
Okay.
needs to be changed. We're gonna get rid of that. We're just gonna say once you acquire it, you have it.
It's just boom. Start
Because
ripping
that,
and
that
tearing.
reminds me a lot
for a
like
minute.
there's a weapon that's like that. Is it the demon slaying sword? No, dragon slaying sword.
Yep.
It has something like that, right?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, you know what? It's probably uncommon and it has charge. So
Yeah.
let's say it drains
that
it and
makes
gains
sense.
3 charges.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Nothing about the manga chainsaw, man.
I just want to. This is just now. The story of this blacksmith got really weird, right? He's like, "Hey, I made a cool weapon. It's made out of demon horns." It's like Adventure's like, what? That's so weird. He's like, "You want to see it do a cool magic trick?" and the Adventure's like, "What? Huh?" He's like, "Here, it's yours. Do stuff with it."
Make it happen.
I lost my hand, so I strapped it to the stump.
That's funny. I'll tell you what, man.
I took it out for a test drive. It works.
I would attach a rope to it and have like a loop on it
It's
to
like a
grapple, and then
flame.
bring it in and just and it like yanks people towards me like
my
like
God.
Scorpion. Get over here!
It's just blood spewing everywhere. The guy's getting yanked.
It's like
towards
dragging
you.
him towards the blade, spinning blades.
I got this. This demon, I got this. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Pup, pup, pup. Damn it! I'm out of blood.
Could you imagine
It's like
the
fuel.
devil looking at it like, humans are fucked up.
Am I from hell?
Like, I'm from Avernus. Like, you guys are weird. Like, even we're not like you guys. We use, like, souls and stuff, sure, but, like, you're using, like, our body parts and, like, using them into weapons and what the?
That would be a good thing to find out. Like, have your characters delve into a place where you expect it to be so horrible, and they're disgusted by the adventurer's
Yeah.
actions. I like that.
Dude, I mean, I know hell's bad, but you guys make Earth way worse.
It's just weird out there, man. I don't know how you guys do it.
All right, that'll do it for our magic item, the Pick of Destiny. That is a horrible name.
It's more like
Let me show you your destiny.
it's just
Austin, would you like to tell us about our Dungeon Master tip?
absolutely. We have reputation points. So there are a few things more satisfying to a player than having the NPCs dote on them after they do their heroic deeds.
I know you.
Likewise, having NPCs who react to the character's actions with disdain and annoyance because of their actions, while not satisfying, helps the world feel alive. Considering having your players track reputation points for their characters, something as simple as favorable, independent, maybe disapproving because they don't like them. Utilize this as a way to guide interactions with shopkeepers, guards, and other NPCs in the area. Instead of increasing DC levels, this puts the dice in the player's hands, so they can see and hold the results of their actions, giving them more weight. If you really want to get fancy, though, you can use the faction renown system for the city reputation overall, adding a much more complexity.
Hey, you're that one adventurer that saved the town. Yep, by beating that troll to death with a sheep. Yep. That was my sheep, you dick.
Yeah.
Why would you think to beat a troll to death with sheep?
I thought it was a ram!
Oh my god.
It's not my fault!
That'd be the best response ever. I was trying to use it as a battering ram.
And the guy's just
Oh
like,
god.
he's at a loss. He's like,
You're
I
not
have
the-
so many questions.
You're not the sharpest sword in the armament, are you?
It worked.
So
But it
overall,
worked.
overall, what do you guys think about this DM tip here?
I feel like it's something that should just be utilized. Maybe, okay. So, I feel like for a majority of tables, this should be utilized.
Yeah.
A majority. Now, there's going to be those few tables that are like the Dungeon Delvers almost, where, like, it won't play nearly as much of a role, because, like, you're probably just dungeon delving, you're going to kill the big bad guy in the dungeon, come back out, hey guys, got new loot, let's go find another dungeon. Time to find another guy and kill him.
Repeatedly, there is, or just for reference, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No,
and,
absolutely not. Yeah, I love it.
And there are some RPGs that do build in their reputation system that works more similar, and I do think players do like to have recognition from their actions, have like the world respond to it.
Yeah.
So,
Alternatively, if your players do like the whole dungeon delving aspect, and you do, they also still want to retain some of that like reputation or like some renown for what they've done. Exactly that. I mean, maybe they killed the big bad guy and they like chopped off his head and they're walking around. They're like, "Hey, I killed the guy," and everyone's like, "Hey, good job, dude! Yeah, you did it! Can't believe it!"
You're the ogre slayer, right? Like,
No. We just killed the. This guy's not an ogre. He's a hobgoblin.
looks like an ogre to me.
What's the difference? You fucking villagers.
Anyway,
Or, hey guys, look, we killed this ogre. You killed Steve?
poor Steve.
And now your reputation gets lowered.
What did Steve do to you? You had an ogre stalking outside your village. He was protecting us.
He's our sheep herder.
Do you not see the dragon flying around? The ogre was stopping him.
Poor Steve. Oh my god.
Alternatively, if you have a lot of rogues in your party, or maybe a lot of murder hobos, this might make them stop being murder hobos.
Oh yeah, like thieves who steal from the merchants quickly can become disapproving, and the merchants won't deal with them,
Oh yeah.
or they'll hike up the prices,
Or they just won't deal with the entire party. So now not only is it
affecting the bad person, it's affecting
everybody.
I love it.
And now the party looks at you like, "Hey, idiot,
Right.
stop."
Stop it! We can't get basic services. They won't even feed us Bermanteau and fries.
I literally can't go to an inn. I have to sleep outside. This is your fault.
I think I meant to say service. But anyway.
Eh, whatever.
Anyways, I think it's a great Dungeon Master tip. I do think that if you want to get really fancy, you can just use the reputation for the faction stuff. But
Is that in
keeping
the
it simple.
DMG or is that?
It's in one of the books. I don't know which one.
DMG, yeah.
Is it?
I feel like it
talks
does.
about the faction reputations.
I do feel like it's touched on there in some capacity.
It was big in the Elemental Evil campaign setting.
Alternatively, you could, if you like have the Ravnica book, you could use like the guild systems and stuff,
there
and
you
you
go.
could get really big into it.
Yeah, so-
because you can always just reflavor the names of the guilds and what
Yeah.
they do. So
at the very least, having just 3 favorable, indifferent, and disapproving can help you kind of guide how they would be treated by others
give
in
your
the game.
give your players like info cards and like have like a little like slider or something.
What the hell?
This is all your merchants. Why'd you slide to unfavorable? Well, you killed one of them.
You robbed the other one, and then you ripped off the third one. They don't like you anymore.
Yeah, and now that because merchants obviously have a web of networks and stuff, none of them like you.
Right.
You will never get service.
That's funny. All right, that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast. Reputation points.
Good one.
Our player tip of the podcast is
Don't be a dick.
And you can avoid dickitude by mastering that mass shadow clone technique. Believe it. That's
We're
a
gonna start
Naruto
doing like
reference.
plus signs and stuff.
That's the wrong symbol. That's how he turned into the girl with the puffy clouds the first time. It's an accident.
I thought you did it on purpose.
Trying to do the transformation jutsu, and he turned into a chick with no clothes. Because it's Naruto, and it was
Makes people laugh.
Japanese anime back in like
And all their nose like shit just
2000,
spews
yeah.
out red blood, and he can get away with it. All right, so
They still go back to the trope in Boruto. They
they?
still do that.
That's funny.
Boruto followed straight into his dad, so he was like, haha, now I'm a sexy girl. Except he uses it more for espionage and getting past stuff rather than actually doing
So
it
he
for the
actually
trope.
has a
He
plan.
has a plan with it
All right.
sometimes.
So how do we do this? So battles are chaotic. Danger lurks around every corner. Making a battle more chaotic by adding clones of yourself can reduce the damage of yourself and your allies take by creating opportunities to seize the figurative high ground. The mass shadow clone build will allow you to create a small army of yourself. So how do
Okay.
we do this, you guys? We're going to start by picking 3 levels in Fighter and taking the Echo Knight to get the Manifest Echo feature.
yeah.
Which comes with a multitude of abilities I'm not going to get into right now, but it's pretty cool.
But you get a clone.
Yes.
That's the big part.
You're going to multi-class into 3 levels into Cleric for the Trickery Domain Cleric to get Invoke Duplicity, which allows you to use a Channel Divinity to make another clone of yourself. And then you're also going to get Mirror Image, which now makes 3 clones of yourself.
3 more.
3 more. So now you
Now
can.
you have 5.
At one time, you've got what? 5? 5
5.
clones already.
Pretty
But
good.
as you get level up, you can make this better by taking 10 levels into Wizard's Illusionary Tradition and accessing Illusionary Self, which allows you to create a duplicate as a reaction that basically absorbs an attack against you for an instant. So poof, there's another one, and he's gone.
Yep.
He's like
Poof, they hit you.
5.5.
Suddenly a log appears where you're standing.
That's really good. And if you really want to get fancy, pick up the simulacrum ability. That
Yeah.
What the hell ever, dude? I don't give a shit how it's said. It's made up. Anyways.
All words are made up.
See? So it doesn't matter how I say it. And that actually lets you create a copy of yourself after 12 hours with a 7th level spell that can then cast those same spells.
And features.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
So there you go.
So now you have 10, 11 clone.
Ah!
And you can include,
12.
You can include other features and spell like silent image and stuff like that as well.
It's like 5.5 times 2 because really that 6th guy is only there to kind of take a hit for you.
Well, that's what they're all there for, right?
Yeah, so
Try to
I-
take a hit for you.
So I guess 12 and no,
You'll need
12.
You'll need so much minis on that map.
Oh yeah. What you'll have to do is you'll have to get.
Just get a 3D printer and just
start printing them
all.
Make, this is red me. This is blue me. This is green me. I think it's a lot of fun. What do you guys think about this?
This could be
It'd
hilarious.
be a nightmare for a dungeon master.
Oh, absolutely. And for the player, he has to think about all this. He's like,
Or the reverse. The dungeon master uses this.
Ew. Ew.
The wizard. You know what?
There's 12 Zariels, and you have to fight them all!
Oh my god.
The wizard. You know what? Screw this. Fireball.
Well, that would
I mean,
definitely
yeah,
do it. What do you guys think about this tip? Pretty fun?
Yes.
Pretty good time. I
Got
like
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast.
Don't be a dick.
And you can avoid dickitude by focusing on those arcane studies and mastering that mass shadow clone technique. Believe it. God,
Is
I
that
hate
copyright?
that. I don't know. I don't give a
I don't
shit.
think it matters.
Well, that'll do it for our show today.
Yeah.
What a fun show today. I had a lot of fun, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please join us on our next episode. We'll be discussing Paragon monsters.
Does that mean they're just like extra hardcore monsters?
It is an article from the Angry GM, I think is what I found
okay.
it. And he talks about how to make solo encounters legendary.
Cool.
Now, we have talked a little bit about like
Action
mythic encounters and stuff like that.
That
but-
kind of makes sense. Might be in the same vein.
Yeah, there's something along in this. And the reason I want to talk about I got a lot of reasons why I want to talk about more than just making it something for high-level monsters. I think you can apply this to weaker monsters too and make them more interesting.
Fair enough.
And in fact, I kind of did it with the monster you guys just kind of
Yeah,
saw.
you kinda-
so
yeah.
gave you a lot of different things to do. All right, so if you have any feedback, that's not my line anymore.
That be my line. If you have any feedback on our tips and tricks or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at critacademy@gmail.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook at critacademy.
We hope you enjoyed your experience here at Crit Academy. If you did, you can help others find the show by leaving a, hopefully, 5-star review on iTunes or your platform of choice. Or you can just send us a message, tell us how much you enjoyed the show. And also, be sure to give our content a like and a share.
We do appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah. I love it. Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com and follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/c/critacademy. If you do, you'll be entered to win cool prizes each and every single week.
Oh,
so
yeah.
make sure to also check out our fellowship members. If you have not checked out Gabe and Jeff's Inter-Party Conflict, my favorite personal podcast, those guys are awesome. They crack me up, and they're just so much fun. Make sure you check them out. Also check out some of the other Crit Nation members. I
Yeah.
have to give a huge shout out once again to Laura Smith and Jeff Stevens. Check out their content. They have a lot of free content, just enough to tickle your dice to make you want more. So then maybe consider checking out some of their other stuff. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. It's driving me bonkers.
That is what it is.
That'll do it for our show today, you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Party time.